What is going on out there, peeps? Okay, there have been some updates going on in Iraq since we spoke this morning, but I do want to touch on something really quick. I told you guys that I was looking to attend this conference. It looks like I got it. So thanks to Lisa, she made an effort in the group, rounded up the funds. We got it. It's being signed up as you hear this. So I'm going to be attending all 3 days. I'm going to record the information and then share the information with you. Look, I highly anticipate the discussion of the Iraqi dinar exchange rate being discussed in these meetings. I can't imagine any way around it. That's one of the biggest topics that would be discussed in regards to their budget, their future, and the purchasing power that they're going to need to be on an international scene. Also, the fact that they need to discuss about their sovereignty, which is really big. These are the things that I'm going to be looking for, and there should be a lot of great information coming out of this meeting. So you guys, it looks like starting on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'm going to put in the time to take off from work and then go ahead and watch this bad boy while it's happening and then report to you guys as it's going on. Okay, so just to let you know, it looks like we're in there. And if there's any reason I can't get in there, I'll definitely let you know. But it looks like Lisa has got me signed up. So good job. Thank you, Lisa. This looks like it's going to be a lot of interesting things that I'm sure you guys are going to want to know about. All right, quick reminder. We have a Facebook group with the same name as the YouTube channel. I will leave a link in the description, and you can come join us. It is free. We do talk about the Iraqi Dinar, Vietnam Dong, gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies, and much, much more. And for those individuals who are into current events as well as things that most people might consider a conspiracy, 9/11, false flag attacks, the whole 9 yards, there's another link for the second group called the Hidden Things in Front of Your Eyes. Both are free to join. I will leave the link. All right, so what's happened since this morning? Well, missile strikes targeting an American base at the Baghdad airport. So I find it interesting that people are really trying to just shake what's going on. There's a lot of positive things happening in Iraq, and then you still got these people on the outside just wanting to really just crap on their parade, man. They really are. And it's most likely ISIS is who it is, and that's fine. I don't think it's going to take much for them to catch who it is and deal with them. But two missiles hit an American headquarters. Nobody was hurt. No materials were lost. As usual, they missed. I don't know where they're buying their missiles from, but obviously it ain't from anybody reliable. They can't seem to hit a target to save their lives, and it most likely is done on purpose. Iraq returns to external borrowing, negotiations to borrow $5 billion US. So I'm hoping that has a lot more to do with the rate change happening so that they can have money available for in-country, not so much out-country, because each country outside of Iraq will deal with their own citizens on their own, but they do need this to help rebuild and get their infrastructure going. We showed you an article where they're talking to Kuwait about the donor conference, about them getting the money so they can start infrastructure. Let's get it rocking and rolling. Let's get people out there working. This would be great for the economy. It also strengthens the Iraqi dinar. Baghdad, Iraq returns again to external borrowing to satisfy its empty treasury due to the consequences of the pandemic and our curse. How about the pandemic and a drop in the oil prices, which negatively affects the revenue of the country whose budget depends on 92% of the revenues. I've said this a million times. I'm going to say it a million more. They need to start doing things in country to start generating other income outside of oil. I know that agriculture is a huge focus right now for Kurdistan. That's one of them. So I'm excited about that because that's big and very helpful. I know that Saudi Arabia is talking about water, so water leasing. I did a video on that as well. So it's going to be very interesting what is going on. Kuwait and Saudi Arabia wanting to work with Iraq is good. They are all part of the same Arab family, so why not? So where we at? So the Parliamentary Finance Committee announced today, Monday, that the Minister of Finance started negotiations with the IMF to borrow $5 billion You guys heard me say this morning before the World Bank and IMF were saying no because you guys were unstable. This is going to tell me a lot if they in fact agree to do this. This must mean that they feel Iraq is ready to put on their big boy chonies and kick off them training wheels and see if they can paddle on their own. The issue of internal and external borrowing will be presented to the Parliament on certain conditions, noting that the committee will present a paper of economic reforms to the government that includes not relying on one rent. Well, we could think of one thing they could do that would help. Yeah, change the rate. The need for external loan amounted to 15 trillion dinars in order to cover salaries and operating expense. The Ministry of Finance began negotiating with the IMF to borrow 5 billion, and it is hoped that it will be allocated for the benefits of the investment. I agree 100%. I'm not a big fan about them borrowing externally, but if it's for what I think it's for, this is going to be, then I'm supporting it, all right? Iran's foreign ministry, the strategic dialogue between Baghdad and the U.S. is not an internal matter, and we will not interfere with it. Okay, we'll take your word for it. The foreign ministry spokesperson, Moussaoui, said Monday on the 15th that his country does not interfere in the strategic dialogue between Washington and Baghdad, noting the dialogue is an internal Iraqi matter. Is it me, or ever since Soleimani was killed and then the coronavirus has, hit Iran pretty hard, they've all of a sudden kind of been on their best behavior? It appears that way. Very interesting. I wonder what's really up. Moussaoui said in a press conference followed by the obelisk that the strategic talks between the United States and Iraq and the file of the withdrawal of American forces from this country is an Iraq internal matter, and Iran does not interfere with it. Regarding the relationship with Saudi Arabia, Moussaoui explained, in general, we do not see that the Saudi approach is constructive and put forward such issues and conditions are not compatible with the internal rules or international rules and standards, and each country is independent in defining and regulating the type of relations with each country. Very, very interesting that they must be up to something. I'm going to just go with the assumption that they're being nice, all right? We know better. Barzani, the need to continue international support against ISIS to continue the security of the disputed areas, okay? So the president of the Kurdistan Region, Barzani, called on Monday for the continued support of the international coalition in conjunction with security breaches in the disputed areas. Excuse me. In a statement received, Barzani said that the frequency of the terrorist attacks in Iraq, especially in the areas covered by Constitutional Article 140, have created dangerous and complex conditions for the residents in those areas of all religious and national components. We have long been subject to threats of death, kidnapping, and displacement. More recently, the agriculture crops are consistently being burned. That's not good. They need to start, in my opinion, they really need to start guarding their agricultural crops. If they're looking for alternative ways to bring in money outside of oil, agriculture is big. So if this is the case, then this is when you would need to put forces surrounding the agricultural fields. I know it sounds crazy, but look, they had the U.S. Army guarding poppy fields in Afghanistan. Why can't we guard the wheat fields in Iraq? All right, so as we have repeatedly warned in the past about the seriousness of the situation, we reaffirm the continuation of these conditions threaten security, stability, and coexistence. So again, now you hear one group of people, usually the Iranian-backed puppets, saying, hey, we want you guys agree to remove the American forces and the coalitions. Now we're hearing people in Kurdistan and some people in Iraq saying that's not going to happen. It's not possible. So very interesting. So there's a lot of attacks over in these disputed areas by ISIS. I still have a feeling we're going to see that get whipped into shape here fairly soon. Call me crazy, but I have a feeling. Washington reveals its position on new up-and-coming talks between Baghdad and Erbil. The United States of America revealed on Monday its position on forthcoming rounds of talks between Baghdad and Kurdistan, actually, on the outstanding differences between them. Now, if I remember correctly, one of the articles I just recently read stated that they are putting together their final agreement and it's going to be reviewed. So let's keep our fingers crossed, because we know that our girl Blashart over there with the United Nations is looking for this to be ironed out as one of the major stepping stones towards Iraq having their own sovereignty. It is expected that the delegation of the Kurdistan Region government will go to Baghdad later this week to enter a third round of talks after 2 rounds in the past 4 months in an effort to reach consensus on the outstanding differences, especially the oil files and the region's share of the federal budget. For those who don't know what that means, Kurdistan is sending 250,000 gallons of oil to Iraq in exchange for them to pay some salaries. All right. So I'm sure what they want to do is get that locked down in stone and just get that going as a show of good faith. We know before this agreement has even been signed that Al-Qadimi has sent over there 400 billion dinars as a show of good faith. So it was a good thing to do. I think it's garnished him a lot of positive vibes anyways from the Kurdistan region. All right, so look, we know this is coming. We've talked about this now for the last couple of months that Kurdistan has been going back and forth. We're just waiting for them to get their differences ironed out. The current government, headed by Al-Qadimi, released the salaries of the employees for 1 month only and mortgages other payments to reach a final agreement with the region regarding the outstanding differences. Observers believe that Baghdad is using the employees' salary paper to pressure the region and dictate the terms in regarding outstanding disputes for many years. Well, we'll see if they get that ironed out. Anything else here? Let's see. The Iraqi forces have confirmed information about the Qatsishua cells. In other words, remember the earlier towards the and one of the Iraq bases in Taji was hit with missiles, just like in Baghdad today, the Baghdad airport. Nobody was hurt, but now they have a feeling they know who they are. Security researcher Hashmi revealed on Monday the details of targeting American forces in Iraq in conjunction with the start of negotiations with Washington, indicating that the Iraqi forces have confirmed and sufficient information about the identity of the attackers and will hold them accountable. Okay, so does it say who it is? The intelligence and security forces know very well the identity of the attackers and the group behind them, behind the attacks, and they will be held accountable without any fear. Good, let's get them in there, and then let's make a public display of this so that we can show the world that indeed they are willing to start getting their ducks in a row and that they're able to do this. All right, so good. Look, all this is good news. And again, once again, I want to remind everybody that indeed I'm going to be attending all 3 days of this conference. All right, I will do what I can to forward the information to you as I get it, to keep you updated on any good or bad news, because we take the good along with the bad and vice versa. But something tells me there's going to be a plethora of really, really good information. All right, you guys, just let you know, it's already being signed up. I will keep you updated. Talk to you later. Bye.